Solve the following system of equations. To solve this question, I would start with our first equation here and try to isolate the variable x, and I'll show you why as we're doing it. 2x minus 4y equals 12. The reason I picked this one is because in order to isolate the variable x, we're going to need to eventually divide everything by the coefficient 2. In this equation, all of our numbers are even, and therefore I'm going to get a whole number result from each of these division problems. If I were to do that with the second one, here we have an odd number. So if I would have divided 3 by 2, I'd have a decimal. If I would have divided 2 by 3, I also would have had a decimal. So this just kept everything with nice whole numbers and will make it go by very quick. So now let's work on isolating this x variable here. We'll need to do opposite operations. The opposite of subtraction is addition. So we'll add 4y to both sides. These will cancel. We'll have 2x is equal to 12 plus 4y. And then 2 is being multiplied to x, so the opposite is dividing everything by 2. This will be eliminated and will give us x is equal to 12 divided by 2 is 6, plus 2 divided by 2 is 2y. So now that we have an equation that is equal to the variable x, we can substitute this in to our second equation. 3, instead of 3 times x, we will do 3 times 6 plus 2y. Because we've proven that x is equivalent to this entire expression here. Minus 2y is equal to 10. And now we can solve for y since we have an equation that only has one variable being y. Let's start by doing distributive property. 3 times 6 will give us 18. 3 times 2y will give us 12y. Or excuse me, 6y. Then we will have 2y equals 10. Let's combine our like terms. 6 minus 2 will give us 4. So we will have 4y equals 10, and we're running out of room, so I'm going to erase and I'll be right back. So now we need to do opposite operations to isolate our variable y. Let's start by subtracting 18 from both sides. These will cancel, giving us 4y is equal to 10 minus 18 will give us negative 8. Then 4 is being multiplied to y, so the opposite would be dividing both sides by y. These will cancel, giving us y equals negative 8 divided by 4 is negative 2. So if we look at our answer choices, there is only one possible answer that has a negative 2 for a y value, and that is answer choice D. At that point, you can mark D and move on with the rest of the test, but for the sake of the video, I'll show you how to finish the rest of the problem. Now that we have our value for y being negative 2, we can subtract that in to either equation, either our first equation or our second equation. Let's do our first equation. So we'll have 2x minus 4 times y, which we know is negative 2, and that'll be equal to 12. When we do distributive property, negative 4 times negative 2 will give us a positive 8. Equals 12. Then we'll need to do opposite operations, subtract 8 from both sides. These will cancel, leaving us with 2x is equal to 4. 12 minus 8 is 4. Then 2 is being multiplied to x, so the opposite operation here is to divide both sides by 2. These will cancel, leaving us with x equals 4 divided by 2, which is positive 2. So our coordinates are 2, negative 2, making D our correct answer.